What's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Chen. I'm a Bodybuilding.com coach as well as a physical therapist. And today we're gonna be talking about hip internal rotation, how we assess it, common compensations, and why it's relevant to training. One of my favorite ways to assess hip internal rotation is using what we call the SHIN box. So you're gonna stay in this kind of Indian sit position with one leg back. The leg in the front is gonna assess hip external rotation, but the leg in the back is gonna assess hip internal rotation. If you don't have access to sit into that hip, what you'll normally see is a hip hike, or you won't be able to sit up straight. You'll see this kind of curve in the spine. You might even start to notice a little bit of a pinch in the hip. And if you do, I'm gonna show you a couple of ways to address that. So one of my favorite ways to start to address hip internal rotation is with the single leg bridge variation. You're only gonna need a bench and a yoga block, and you're gonna set up in a 90-90 position. The knees are gonna be right above the hips. You're gonna squeeze the yoga block between the thighs, lift one leg off the bench. You're gonna reach with the arm that's here on the same side that's on the bench. The opposite arm is gonna reach cross body, and you're just gonna bridge up and down. The key to when you're bridging up and down is you're driving with your heels and not extending from the lower back. In this position, the hamstrings are gonna pull the pelvis backwards into a posterior tilt, and you're gonna engage a little bit of the obliques, which is gonna free the motion in the hips. Second exercise that we like to incorporate is what we call the diagonal bridge with marching and rotation. So you're gonna set up normally like a side plank, but you're actually gonna bend your knees into the side bridge position. Then you're gonna go one leg in front, one leg in back. You're gonna come up to the top. You're gonna march. We typically go for 15 reps. So once you get to 15, we'll just kind of fast forward, we're gonna work on rotation. The key here is that the bottom leg doesn't move, and you're rotating your hips first and reaching through. As you're reaching through, you should feel a stretch in the back pocket of the hip that's down, and you're moving your pelvis over your bones and kind of stretching into hip internal rotation. Go for 5 rotations, reaching further each time, and then we're gonna progress to the third exercise. Last exercise is gonna be a front foot elevated split squat. With the front foot elevated split squat, we're gonna cue it slightly different than a normal squat. I actually want you to pull this back hip forward and pull the front hip back. So it's like you're drawing this hip back. Then you're gonna reach your arm cross body, but I still want you to look straight. And as you come down, you're gonna stay heel heavy on that right leg, and you're gonna feel a stretch again in the back pocket of the right hip. And when you're coming down, try to remain upright. I don't want you to lean forward or lose your torso position. You're coming up and down like an elevator. If you guys checked your hip internal rotation with the SHIN box assessment in the beginning, give those 3 exercises a shot and let me know how the SHIN box feels afterwards. And the SHIN box improves. Also test out your squats and your deadlifts. They will feel a lot better as well. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, and until next time.